I don't have a time machine yet, but if I did, here are 5 things I'd do to make me a better developer today. The first thing I'd do is embrace my inner nerd. Yes, I'm a nerd. We're all nerds. We're all developers. We got to be nerds, right? You got to be a nerd to do this job. But I would really embrace it. I spent my first few years going through things, reading tutorials, reading some things while we're looking around, but I'd really embrace it. I would find books. About 8 years ago, I discovered there are books. There are books that cover topics that I didn't know existed. Dependency injection, domain-driven design, a myriad of different ideas. And I would dive into these earlier in my career to help me become a better developer today. Because knowing how to code is great and it's important. But knowing how code should be put together, knowing how to craft a beautiful piece of software is much more than just knowing how to use an API, much more than knowing how to configure a button to do something. So as iOS developers, we often get into this state where, we just want to, know how to use Combine, know how to use async await. How do I use UIKit? But software requires so much more. And really embracing our inner nerd can bring us along so much quicker, where we just spend time every day reading books, reading good blog posts, reading everything we can get our hands on to expand our mind, expand our understanding. These things will help us be a much better developer. The next thing I do is I'd embrace my inner noob. A noob is someone who's completely new at something, and I would choose to be that person more consistently. I would try new things all the time. Maybe learn Vim, maybe really dive into machine learning, and maybe I'm going to try out a new IDE, but just expanding your horizons and exploring new things opens up opportunities that we don't even know exist yet. And so I would really embrace becoming a noob more often. Just embrace that idea that, hey, I got to be a beginner today so that tomorrow I'm better prepared. I've seen this over and over in my career that when I've started to learn something in one day, a month later, suddenly I'm using that. And it's not just that I've added tools to my toolkit, but that those opportunities arise and I may not have noticed them before. So I would really embrace becoming a noob. The next suggestion I would have is to become a dev groupie. What do I mean? Well, there are a lot of opportunities to connect with other developers, other people, other like-minded individuals, and we can grow a lot from each other. Yeah, people know things that I don't know, and I know things that others don't know. And the more we connect, the more we share ideas, the more we bounce things off of each other, the faster we can grow, the faster we can become the better developers we want to become. And so become a dev groupie. Find Reddit groups, find people on Twitter, find Slack, find Discord servers, just find people, find local groups. There are lots of opportunities, lots of places that we can meet other developers and grow and help others to grow as well. So that's number 3, become a dev groupie. Number 4 is kind of funny. Become a chronicler. I used to play Destiny 2, and the first badge or seal, I think is what they called it at the time, that I ever got was the chronicler. I collected the lore that was available in the game. And we want to become chroniclers of our own career. You want to take time at the end of every day to record. Well, what did you do that day? At the end of every week, what are the highlights? Because there comes times, whether it's a job interview or just conversations with others, where you're going to need to remember and pull out these facts and be able to share them. Hey, yeah, well, I built this new feature today. I learned this new fact. I grew. I resolved this, and then by the end of a year, by the end of 2 years, 3 years, you've got this history that you can refer back to that says, hey, I've grown as a developer. I've become better. And you can share these things. You can use them with the friends. You can use them for yourself. It's been incredibly helpful for me as I've started to do this, to be able to go back and review and go, oh yeah, That's right. I did that. So then when I go to update my resume, I've got a good location to find and see all these things. When I want to find wins to share with the group, I can just go back and look at that. If I ever get hired by Elon Musk and he's like, hey, give me the top 5 things you did this week or you're fired. Hey, I've got it ready. So become a chronicler. Write down the wins, write down the things, the conversations, the important things that you do every day, because it'll make a difference in how you think about how you're growing and how you do grow. The final thing I would suggest is to become a Granger. What do I mean? Well, I'm referring to Hermione Granger. She always in the Harry Potter series. She's the bookish person. She's always figuring out the nitty gritty details, and we each need to do that. Particularly in today's day where we've got AI that's given us code. We've got forums online. We've got Stack Overflow. So much information is just given to us that we can just copy and paste, and our code mostly works, but we don't understand it. And so we want to understand it. So become so curious about the code you write that you understand those nitty gritty details. Hermione, she knows everything. She knows everything because she studies deep into it. She gets into the lore. Do the same thing when you write code. Don't just submit it going, it works. The few test cases I've looked at it works. We're good to go. No, look at the code. Do you understand all the nuances? Do you understand what's going on here and there? Are you reading the documentation for the new APIs that you've been exposed to? If not, you're going to fall behind. So you've got to become curious. You've got to look into what is really going on. How is this really functioning? Because if you can't answer those questions, you shouldn't be submitting that code. You should be confident in what is going on. It's funny. I grew up in my development career when Stack Overflow was about all you got. And so you would go to Stack Overflow, you'd find your question, you'd copy it, you'd paste the answer into whatever you're doing, and you hit compile, off you go. And now it's a step even removed from that. You can ask AI, hey, I want this feature, and it'll just pump out a whole bunch of code, and you can copy that into your project. Or with some things, it just writes it into your project. And what are you even doing? All you now are just a person telling someone what to do. Do you understand it? Can you fix it? Or is it becoming a black box to you so that down the road, you have no idea what's going on? And so that's what you want to avoid. To become a great developer, you have to be able to go back and go, oh yeah, I made these decisions for this reason. This code, I understand, has limitations, but it's in this way. And so under my assumptions, it should work. That's the goal. The goal is to truly understand what your code is and how it functions. So become curious, become just insatiably curious about what's going on in the code in front of you. If you do that, you'll become a great engineer. Well, those are the 5 things I wish I knew and had implemented when I became a software engineer. I wish I had really embraced my nerddom. I wish I had been more willing to become a noob at every opportunity. I wish I'd become a chronicler. I had a better history of what I had been doing. I wish I was a groupie connected to these wonderful people that surround us, that know so much more and different things than us. And finally, I wish I'd become like Hermione Granger, just insatiably curious about how things really work. Because the road to mastery is long. It takes time. It's going to take time. It's going to take repetitions. And so if I had known those things all those years ago, it would be compounded interest on my skills and talents right now as a developer. So take the time. It's going to be hard, but it's going to be worth it. You're going to excel and grow in ways that you never thought imaginable, and you'll become the best version of your developer self that you can be.